Okay, we'll start. Systematic random sampling technique. Right now we are going towards the systematic random sampling technique. So what do you mean by the systematic random sampling technique? You are going to have a small equation. So what's it? Capital N divided by the simple n, right? What do you mean by the capital N? Size of the universe, size of the population, and then dividing it by the sample size, right? Population divided by sample size. So then it generates the sampling interval. K, sampling interval. So then based on the sampling interval, we are going to select the, or else we are going to pick the each and every individual to our sample size. Right. So systematic sampling technique or its design involve drawing the every nth item, nth element in the population, starting with the randomly chosen element between 1 and n. Right. So in the given example, if you want to select the sample of 10 students out of the 120 students, so under this method, under the systematic random sampling technique, kth items is picked up from the sample frame and the k is the sample interval. Right. Okay, we'll calculate it. So then we'll calculate it. I hope you all can see the screen. I will share a Word document. So then K equals n divided by simple n. Right? In our hypothetical example, population is 120, n sample size 10. So then 12 is the interval, 12th item. Now, we have 120 items. Now, we are discussing about the probability sampling technique. To have a probability sampling technique, you need to know that you need to identify each and every item in the population. Now, then you have list. You have made the list. So, therefore, you have the first one, first person, second one, third one, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6, 7, and up to the 120. So we'll take it, we need to take it as a 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and up to 120. Right. So then, so the K is the interval level, right? Interval. So then how you can start the interval? So first you need to select the first person. You can select with the first one, first person. You have taken the first person to your sample size. Next, so you have the interval. No, how much is the interval? 12. So then first one interval, and then we need to count until the 12th item. So then first, second, third, fourth, then likewise you can again mark the second person 12th. Again next person 24th. Likewise, you will be able to identify the individuals based on the interval under the systematic sampling technique, systematic random sampling technique. I hope it's clear to you. First, you need to identify your population, number of items in the population, included in the population. So then divided it by the sample. So then it gives us the interval. So based on the interval, you can select your population. You can select your individuals to your sample. Right, to a sample from the population. We are calling this one as the systematic sampling technique. So someone can start it here with the 2 also, right? If it is 2, you have to select the second person as the 13%, right? Anyway, the difference between 2 individuals should be 12. We are calling it as an interval. Advantages and disadvantages of the systematic random sampling technique. You can read those parts. Cluster sampling technique. Again, this one also very much important to you. Cluster. What do you mean by cluster? Yes. Yes. Cluster. Cluster. What we are doing here, in the cluster sampling technique, the target population or as the entire population divided into clusters, right? So it may be more clusters also, not one cluster, it may be more clusters also. Once you identify the cluster, so then you can select and you can apply the random sample for the cluster random sampling technique, right? Random sampling technique. Okay, we'll have the example, cluster sampling. For example, SMEs in Sri Lanka. SMEs in Sri Lanka. First cluster. What is the first cluster? Provinces, right? How many provinces do we have? We have 9 provinces. So if we are conducting the research for the SMEs in Sri Lanka, you can divide the first cluster, the provinces, into provinces, 9 provinces. So next cluster, yes, you can identify it into the districts, right? So each and every provinces, so they have the districts, right? 25 districts we have. For the an example, central province, it may be 2. Western province, it may be 3. Right? Northwestern, it may be 2. Likewise, you are dividing the province to again another cluster based on the districts. Right? Again, you are going to simplify. Districts divided into the villages. Right? Third cluster. Third cluster is the villages. We based on districts are having villages. So now we are going to move towards the villages, another cluster. From the village, you can take the data from the householders. In my example, it's SMEs. We'll change it to the SMEs to the Sri Lankan householders, right? The financial literacy and the savings behavior of the householders in Sri Lanka, right? Financial literacy and the savings behavior of the householders in Sri Lanka, right? What is the first cluster? Provinces. Provinces, and then you can divide the provinces into the districts. So then villages into villages, and then from the villages, you are going to select the sample, or else you are going to collect the data from the householders. We are calling it as a cluster sampling. Cluster sampling. So in we are doing the cluster sampling, but the cluster sampling is in the sense dividing the clusters, dividing into clusters as same as in the systematic randoms, as same as in the stratified random sampling technique. Once you identify the clusters, you can collect the data again by enabling the simple random sampling technique. Right. So advantages and the disadvantages from the cluster sampling technique. Okay, now connectivity proposed a sampling techniques to select, right? I have given you here the sum of research sample populations. So then by reading this population or else by reading these items given to you, identify the sampling technique which is relevant for the each and every topics here. Right. First one, sample from the doctors regarding their job satisfaction. Second one, sample for the school from the Western province. And then third one, woman age 15 to 45 years. for awareness of breast cancers. So then sample of items to check the quality. Yes. First one, sample from the doctors. The second one, we are going to collect the data from the schools from the Western province. Third one, woman age in between 15 to 45 years, right? So the last one, to check the quality of some items. Which are the most relevant sampling technique for this given four scenarios? Identify. Okay. For the first one, what may be the suitable sampling technique? Yes, what may be the suitable sampling technique? Any idea? Yes, you can identify the simple random sampling technique. Second one, sample of the school from the Western province. With sampling technique. Yes. So it's a cluster, ne? We are going to have a cluster. So therefore, cluster sampling technique. Next one, woman age in between 15 to 45. Definitely it is a stratified random sampling technique. Starter. Last one, sample of the items to check the quality. Yes, it should be the systematic random sampling. Normally we are checking the nth item, ne? First item, the second item, likewise. So the best sampling technique is systematic random sampling technique. Likewise, if it is, yeah, now you have the chance to identify the research sample technique to your study. Definitely it should be mentioned in your proposal. Identify if it is a probability sampling technique. Identify which strategy suit for your research. Non-probability sampling technique. Non-probability, right? Non-probability sampling technique, most probably we are identifying the non-probability sampling techniques for the qualitative studies, whereas the probability sampling technique will be identified for the quantitative research. For the quantitative research, we identify the probability sampling technique. For the non-probability sampling technique will be identified for the yes, or is tested for the qualitative research. Qualitative research. Right. Convenient sampling. Convenience. What do you mean by convenience? Convenient sampling defined as a group of individuals believed to be representative of the population from which is selected but chosen because it is close at the hand rather than being randomly selected. Totally biased. Totally biased. For example, if I want to conduct, I have taken the same example in previously also. If I want to collect the research regarding the university students or as undergraduates, right? So the lecturing effectiveness or else the, yes, teaching effectiveness and the employee performance, teaching styles and the student performance. Is there any relationship between teaching styles as well as the teaching styles and the student performance? If I want to conduct the research from the undergraduate perspective, so my population is undergraduate, but I have selected the sub-undergraduate to my research. Because of what? Because of the convenient perspective. It's easy, no? If I give you the questionnaire to you, and if I ask you to fill it out, definitely you will fill it out. Right? So then I can collect the data very easily, but it's surely biased data. Biased data, the answers, the teaching effectiveness, the lecturing skills or lecturing styles and the student performance definitely biased to the sub-undergraduate. If I'm going to generalize that findings to the population university undergraduates, definitely the answer may be, there may be wrong interpretations. So therefore, convenient sampling. Right? So that kind of scenarios, for that kind of scenarios, convenient sampling is not suitable for. But so there are some incidents, right? So there are some incidents, you can select the convenient sampling technique, right? So when we interview any customer that we can approach to do the interviews. For example, Putta, convenient sampling. If we take like this, yes, here also the example when we interview any customer that we can approach to do the interviews. If we want to inquire data, if we want to share the questionnaire, if we are going to collect the data regarding the, let's take like this, financial literacy and the savings behavior, financial literacy and the savings behavior patterns. financial literacy and the savings behavior patterns of the individuals in Uva province. We are going to have their financial capacity or financial knowledge and their savings behavior, right? Especially, so if we are taking the persons who are having low financial literacy, normally the Monaragala, Badulla, in that kind of areas, there are some individuals who are having low financial literacy. So it should be confirmed by some researchers. So then we can test that area intentionally. Right? We can select that area intentionally. So if I'm working at Uvellasa University, so then what I can do? So I can collect the data from the Uva province for my research regarding the research regarding the financial literacy and the employee financial literacy and the savings behavior of the individuals with special reference to the Uva province, Sri Lanka. So what it is, we are going to identify based on the knowledge what will be their pattern. Is it high, low, or else whatever the pattern? Is it a volatile likewise? So then what is the sampling technique? Convenient sampling technique. It's easy to me because why I am working at Uvellasa University. Meanwhile, so the Uva province also having the persons who are having low financial literacy. Therefore, that kind of sampling technique will be identified can be identified for that kind of scenarios. Convenience. Because of the easiness, we are going to utilize this sampling technique. Purposive sampling technique. Purposefully, we selected the sample from the population, right? It involves selecting a group of individuals because they have particular traits that the researcher wants to study. This type of sampling technique is also known as the purposive sampling and the authoritative sampling. What do you mean by purposive? Purposefully, we are going to select the sample from the population. Example, customers of particular product or service in some type of market research. For example, Unilever. So they have introduced a new soap. We'll take Sevvandi soap. Right. Before 3 months ago, they produced a product called Sevvandi soap. It has a high sales at the market. What happened? So rather than the other soaps, Sevvandi product is reporting high sales. So now the marketing department is questionable on the high sales. So what they have done? So they have conducted the market research. Now, when they are collecting data for their research, they need to purposefully select the customers who use this new product or Sevvandi soap. Otherwise, if the marketing department individuals take the data from the person who is using the Rani Sabha, is it not reflecting the real purpose? It is not relevant for our research. Why? So we are conducting a research on the new product. So therefore, you purposefully you need to select the persons who are using the new product. Purposive sampling. Purposefully, the researchers select the sample from the population. Right. Snowball sampling technique. Snowball normally started with the small as a small icon. ඔයාලට ෆිල්ම් වල දැකලා ඇතිනේ කන්ද උඩ ඉඳගෙන ස්නෝබෝල් එකක් කොහොමද ඩිවෙලොප් වෙන්නේ? චූටි බෝලයක් තමයි උඩ ඉඳන් පාස් වෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් කැරකිලා මොකද වෙන්නේ? අවසාන කන්ද පල්ලෙහාට යනකොට ස්නෝබෝල් එක කියන්නේ ලොකු ස්නෝබෝල් එකක්. Even it started with the small icon. So then Here also the same one, snowball sampling technique, in the sense, as a researcher, you started with the first, you started it with a one person. That one person also very rare, very difficult to identify. Right? By identifying the first person, so inquiring him, meeting with him, so then by asking the question, you are going to have the second person. Now you are going to your snowball or else your sample in the first one, in the first scenario, first one. So in the second one, now you have the two individuals. Again, from the first one and from the second one, you asked questions and you are going to expand your sample into 3, 4. Again, from that 3, 4 to ask the question, you are going to expand your sample. What happened? Likewise, the researcher is going to expand the sample, right? So you initially conducted a few potential respondents and then asked them whether they know and anybody with the same characteristics that you are looking for in your research, right? The best example, if I want to collect the data from drug users at SAP campus, smokers, right? So then I can start the research with the help of 16A, 16A weekday, weekend, MOH and 17 exception batch. නේ ඔයාලා මාත් එක්ක එකතු වෙන්න ඉතින් මම ඔයාලගෙන් අහනවා කවුද මේ drug users ලා කියලා. ඔයාලා එකපාරම කියනවද no? This is a just hypothetical example to recall your memory. So then, so once I ask the question, නෑ කවුද කොච්චර lecture එකත් එක්ක එකතු වුණාට කියනවද නෑ? කියන්නේ මිස් මෙයා පාවිච්චි කරනවා මෙයා ස්මෝක් කරනවා කියලා අපි කියන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් ඔන්න බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් එක්කෙනෙක් හොයාගත්තා කියලා හිතන්න. එක්කෙනෙක් හොයාගත්තා. ඔන්න දැන් මම data collect කරනවා. Now I am going to inquire him and so then asking the questions likewise. බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් එයාගෙන් ඇහුවට කියන්නෙත් නැහැ. මොකද කරන්නේ? බොහොම අමාරුවෙන් යත් එක්ක හොඳට කතා බහ කරලා මොකද කරන්නේ මම ඕන්නේ තමයි සතියක් විතර ගියාට පස්සේ කියනවා මිස් මං විතර නෙමෙයි අරයත් පාවිච්චි කරනවා මෙයත් පාවිච්චි කරනවා ඔය තුන් දෙනෙක්ගේ නම් කියන. ඔන්න මම ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ? Again I am going to expand my sample. දැන් ඔන්න ඒ කියපු ABCD ළඟට යනවා. ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරනවා. ඒගොල්ලොත් එක්ක කතා කරලා questions අහුවට පස්සේ මොකද කියන්නේ? ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙනවා මට. So these are the individuals, these are the friends who are using the drugs. මේ අපිත් වගේම තමයි මිස් කියලා කියන. එතන මොකද කරන්නේ පුතා? We are going to expand the sample. We initiated with the first person individual and then from him I'm going from him or her from the respective respondent. So we are going to inquire about the individuals who are having the same characteristics and you are going to or else you are going to expand your sample. We are calling this technique as the snowball sampling technique. Here, if you want to interview as a sample of vegetarians and likewise, you can collect this. Most probably for the drug users and for the underworld cases and the prostitutes. So this kind of snowball sampling technique may be enabled. The next one, cart sampling, right? Cart sampling. What do you mean by the cart sampling? Yes, quarter. Yes, in cart sampling, the selection of sample is made by the interviewer who has been given the quotas to fill the specified subgroup of population, right? Example. So in here, what happened? The researcher has been given a quota, right? So anyway, whatever the using method, the researcher need to fill that quota. So then example. In a study wherein the researcher likes to compare the academic performance of different high school classes levels, its relationship with the gender, socio-economic status, and the researcher first identify the subgroups. Right? Again, so what happened in this research? You are going to compare the academic performance of different high school classes levels. its relationship with the gender, socio-economic status. So then gender-wise, socio-economic status-wise, you have to make the subgroups. So then to the subgroup, you need to fill the specific number of sample units. So it is called as the quad sampling. An example, the Korean, the country, Korea. So they have given us the quota from Sri Lankan perspective. So this year, 2025, Sri Lankan Korean, the employees, your quota is 1 million, not 1 million, 10,000. For the Singapore, so they are giving, sorry, Bangladesh, so they are giving the 7,000 quad. Okay, ඔයාලා fill කරලා යවන්න මේ quad එක. ඔයාලට මේ quad එක දෙන්න. ඒතර quad එක fill කරගන්න මොකද කරන්නේ? It has been purposefully you are going to include the individuals who are representing that quad. So then, so it may be definitely the non-probability sampling technique. Non-probability sampling technique. Okay, so these are the sum of techniques you need to study. Quad sampling technique. So then the other one, snowball sampling technique, purposive sampling technique, and then we are calling the convenience sampling technique. So those are those four non-probability sampling techniques. Then probability sampling technique, simple random sampling technique, systematic random sampling technique, stratified random sampling technique, and the other one, last one, it's the cluster sampling technique. So those are the non-probability, probability sampling technique and the non-probability sampling technique, both. There are 8 sampling techniques. I hope now you can identify the sampling technique for your study. Okay. Identify, write down your research topic and identify your sample size. I will give you 5 minutes. If you have any question regarding your research topics and other things, okay, we'll discuss that one after 5 minutes. First, you identify what is the relevant sampling technique suitable for your study. So you have the 8 sampling technique. Identify which sampling technique is relevant for your study or else can use for your research study. Write down your research topic and write down the sampling technique. I will ask from one by one.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, Pata.
Madam, මගේ topic එකේ මේකට අනුව මම ගත්තේ commercial banks ma'am, license commercial banks. එතකොට දැන් ලංකාවේ දැනට 25ක් 6ක් වගේ තමයි මම හිතන්නේ 25ක් වගේ මේ තමයි banks තියෙන්නේ සාම license commercial bank. ඒකෙත් listed ඒවා 10කට අඩුයි මම හිතන්නේ. එතකොට දැන් මම කොහොමද sample එකක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් ඒ ඔක්කොම මට මුළු population එකම ගන්න පුළුවන් නේද? එහෙමද නැත්තම්?
එතකොට ඔයාගේ පුතා ඔයා ගන්න primary dataද secondary dataද? ඔයා collect කරන්නේ මොන dataද? Primary dataද secondary dataද?
Primary data නේද madam?
මම දන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාගේ research topic එක මොකක්ද කියලා. ඒ නිසා මට කියන්න බෑ.
ඒ කියන්නේ madam
ඔයා තමයි දන්නේ.
foreign exchange risk එක ගැන ඒ කියන්නේ effectiveness of foreign exchange effectiveness of hedging strategies in
hedging
managing
strategies.
foreign exchange.
හරි. දැන් ඔයා collect කරන්න හදන ඔයාගේ intention එක ඔයා මේ research topic එකට ඔයා collect කරන්න හදන්නේ මොන dataද? ඒ කියන්නේ කාගෙන්ද මේ data ගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියලා හිතන්නේ. එක්ක annual report වල data ගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියලා හිතනවද? එහෙම නැත්නම් ඔයාලට හිතනවද company එකේ individuals ලගෙන්? එහෙම නැත්නම් foreign exchange handle කරන manager කෙනෙක්ගෙන් මේ data ගත්තොත් හොඳයි කියලා?
මට නම් හිතෙන්නේ මට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් annual report එකේ ඒ වාගේ informations අඩුයි.
ඒක තමයි.
එහෙම ගත්තොත්
ගන්න බෑ ඔයාට data පුතේ. තේරුණාද? ඔයාට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට annual report වල data availability එකක් නැහැ. data available නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ වගේ අවස්ථාවකදී ඔයා කරන්න ඔයාට පුළුවන් data collect කරන කාගෙන්ද? the managers ලගින් එහෙම නැත්නම් individuals ලගින්. දැන් එතකොට ඔයාගේ population එක වෙන්නේ පුතේ license commercial banks වල ඉන්න individuals ලා. banks නෙමෙයි.
ඕකේ ඕකේ.
තේරුණාද? එතකොට ඔයා බලන්න ඕන ලයිසන් කමර්ෂල් බැංක්ස් 24යි. ලිස්ටඩ් ලයිසන් කමර්ෂල් බැංක්ස් 10යි. එතකොට ඔයාට මේකේ අදාළව ඩේටා ගන්න කෝපරේට් බ්‍රාන්චස් වල අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉන්නවා ෆොරෙන් එක්ස්චේන්ජ් හැන්ඩල් කරන මැනේජර්ස්ලා එක්කෙනෙකුට වඩා වැඩිපුර ඉන්නවා. එතකොට ඔයා ටෝටල් එක ගත්තාම පොපියුලේෂන් එක ඔයාගේ ලිමිට් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. තේරුණාද? 10 ගුණ කිරීම එක කම්පැනි එක බැංක් එකක හිතන්නකො කෝපරේට් බ්‍රාන්ච් එක
හරි
තියෙන
හරි
හෙඩ්
මැඩම්
ඔෆිස්
හරි.
එකේ නම් නේද? හෙඩ්
ඔව්.
ඔෆිස් එකේ 10ක් ඉන්නවා. එතකොට 10 ගුණ කිරීම 10 100යි. තේරුණාද? හා
ඔව්
එහෙම
මැඩම්.
තමයි පොපියුලේෂන් එක හදන්නේ. එතකොට
මේ
බැංක්ස්
සාමාන්‍යයෙන්
වෙන්නේ
මැඩම්
හා කියන්න.
ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි මැඩම් දැන් මම මේ වගේ ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් එකක් මට එයාලකින් ගන්න පුළුවන් වේද මැඩම් මම නිකන් අහන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය.
පුළුවන් වෙයි වෙන්න ඕනේ. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔයාලට ලෙටර්ස් දුන්නාම ඉතින් එයාලා up to some extent data නම් දෙනවා issue එකක් වෙන එකක් නෑ ඉතින්. අපි රිසර්ච් වලට රිසර්ච් එක අපේ ළමෙක් කියලා කිව්වහම ඔයා ඒක ඩික්ලෙයාර් කරපුවාම ඒගොල්ලන්ට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඉතින් ඒගොල්ලන් දෙන්නේ අයිඩියා එකක්නේ question එක fill කරන්න කියන එකනේ කියන්නේ. ඒතර
ඔව්
එයාලා
ඔව් ඔව්.
සාමාන්‍යයෙන් data එයාලා reliable ඉතින් මෙහෙම එතනදී පොඩි common bias method කියලා තියෙනවා common error bias එකක් තියෙනවා. එයාලා හොරාගේ අම්මගෙන් පේනනවා වගේ වැඩක් තමයි ඒ සමහරලාට අපි එතනදී කරන්නේ. ඔතන ලොකු argument එකක් තියෙනවා quantitative qualitative research වලදී. ඒ වුණාට අර අපි එහෙම අවස්ථාවකදී බලන ඇත්තම secondary යන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. එහෙම යන්න පුළුවන් නම් reliable. එහෙම නැති වුණාම දැන් අපි යාළගෙන් hedging strategies ගැන අහනකොට අපිට methods තියෙනවා ඒක avoid කරගන්න කිසිම issue එකක් නැහැ ඔයාට. ඔයාට ඉතින් data ගන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට data දෙය ටිකක් අමාරුයි දැන් අර නිකම්ම customer කෙනෙක්ගෙන් data collect කරනවා වගේ නෙමෙයිනේ පුතේ. corporate branch එකට යන්න ඕන ඕවා handle කරන්නේ නැහනේ. දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට මෙතන වැල්ලවත්ත තියෙන branch එකේ people's bank එකේ එතන hedging ගැන දන්න manager කෙනෙක් නැහැ නේද? එතකොට ඔයා යන්න ඕන corporate branch එකට. ඒතර ඒක practically කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙනවා ඔයාට අනිවාර්යෙන්.
හරි 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 thank you.
අනිත් එක මම හිතනවා ඔයාලා හැමෝම okay so we have you already develop your yes නේ I will stop sharing so you already developed your portfolio activity number 3 sorry what happened give me 1 second we'll go to the your portfolio activity development now you should in the next week you need to select the base paper right I hope what you know what you mean by the base paper so the base paper in the sense it's similar to a best friend right to do your research you should have a best friend so now you need to select a base paper which is suitable for your study right and then the base paper should be listed in base papers journal should be listed in the ABDC journal list right ABDC journal list එකේ rank වෙලා තියෙන journal එකක වෙන publication එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඔයාලා research හොයාගන්න ඔයාලගේ topics වලට. right. okay. Portfolio activity number 3.
Excuse me, madam.
Okay, very good. 76 submissions are there. Exactly 76 submissions are there. I didn't give the comment to you, right? So I will comment it on it before. Yes, definitely next week I will comment. Don't worry. The thing is, you have to now select the base paper for your research. If there are no any research for your research, that means existing, if you are unable to find existing research papers to the develop research topic, think the research ability of your research, right? Research in the sense, so these are all these research are academic research. Right, academic research in the sense the literature review provided a high base in the academic research. You should have the literature review. So therefore, as the guidance, better to find a literature or it's better to find a similar paper to your study. That similar paper, similar journal article should be listed in the ABDC journal list. මම අද කරා ඔයාලගේ 6 below 16 CD batch එකට ඔයාලා ජර්නල් ඔයාලා බලන්න ඕනේ ඔයාලා සිලෙක්ට් කරගන්න බේස් පේපර් එක. ඔයාගේ ස්ටඩි එකට සිමිලර් පේපර් එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන පබ්ලිෂ් වෙලා තිබුණේ. එහෙම තිබුණොත් හොඳයි. එහෙම තිබුණොත් එයා ඔයාට ගයිඩන්ස් එකක් දෙනවා. ඕකේ මෙන්න මේ විදිහට ඔයාගේ රිසර්ච් එක කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. එහෙම නැති වුණොත් ඔයාට එහෙම නැති වුණොත් එහෙම පේපර් එකක් නැත්තම් අපිට හිතන්න වෙනවා දරුවෝ මේකේ රිසර්ච් ඇබිලිටි එක තියෙනවා. මොකද අනිත් පැත්තෙන් පේපර් එකක් නැහැ කියලා කියන අලුත්ම ස්ටඩි එකක් වගේම තමයි සමහර වෙලාවට ඒ වගේ රිසර්ච් කරන්න බැරි අවස්ථා තියෙන හින්දා තමයි පේපර්ස් නැත්තේ. එතනදී පැති දෙකක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි ඕකේ හරි මගේ රිසර්ච් එකට එක කවදාකන එකම මගේ රිසර්ච් කරන රිසර්ච් එකට සිමිලර් පේපර් එකක් නැති වෙන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. At least there should be one similar paper also. But if there are any less papers available in the sense there is a doubt, it may be the new area, emerging area plus, so there may be some low research ability of your selected research topic. So therefore now you need to select the base paper for your study. Right, base paper for your study. Okay, you will go to the I hope you all can see the screen. Yes, here I have uploaded the ABDC journal list as well as the Scopus journal list. Right, so these are ABDC in the sense Australian Dean School. Right, Australian Dean Schools provided the list of journals which are having the high quality as well as the Scopus journal list, again another list provided by the some council which confirm the quality of the research journals. Right, so now you need to do it. Now you need to select the research articles which is similar to you like this. In the literature review, I uploaded some research articles, right? When you are downloading, once you downloaded the similar findings to your study, just go here and identify the journal name, right? So this is the journal name, right? What in the first page, definitely if it is a quality paper, the journal name is included. Right, so once you identify the journal name, you cross-check the journal name in this ABDC journal list. Whether my research journal is included in the ranking list. If it is not, definitely our paper is you have the similar paper, but it doesn't having a quality. It's not a quality paper, right? So therefore, you need to identify, you need to select the quality paper, quality similar paper for your study. If there are no any similar papers, what you can do is you change the research topic. It's okay. So we are developing the research topic. It's totally okay. You have the chance to develop your research topic until the presentation date. මම ඔයාලව ඩිවෙලොප් කරන එක කරන්නේ මම ඔයාලව ස්ට්‍රික්ට් කරන්නේ නැහැ කොයිම වෙලාවකවත්. හැබැයි මම ඔයාලට කියනවා වැඩ කරන්න කියලා. එහෙම නැති වුණොත් ඔයාලට මේක ගැන කිසිම අවබෝධයක් ගන්න බැරි හින්දා. ඒක තමයි මගේ ඉන්ටෙන්ෂන් එක. නැතු ඔයාලට කිසිම වෙලාවක ෆෝස් කරන එක නෙවෙයි. අපි මේක ඔයාලව කරවන එකයි කරන්නේ. දැන් යම්කිසි දැන් ඔයාලා පේපර් එකක් හොයාගන්න ඕනේ. පේපර් එකක් හොයාගෙන you all need to upload, right? You already uploaded the literature review. පුතා ඉනිෂට, right? We already uploaded the literature review. So then to the same link you uploaded here, you have uploaded the literature review. So then again you uploaded the base paper for the literature review. Right, base paper for literature review, it should be a PDF one. So if you are at physical class, no issue. I can check whether your paper is quality one or is not. Today I conducted that one for the 16 CD batch. Unfortunately, I can't do it for your batch. So therefore, I can't physically cross check it. So then what you can do is you upload a document to the the activity 3. Activity 5 is the finding the base paper to your study. So therefore, with similar to the portfolio activity number 3, you all need to upload the base paper for the paper or as for the research topic that you have developed the literature review, right? So therefore, do it before Friday, right? මේ ලියපු literature review එකට base paper එකක් upload කරන්න before this Friday. Okay. Tell me, Pata. Yes.
මැඩම් මේ හුඟක් ජර්නල් මම සර්ච් කරාම ABCD ලිස්ට් එක ABDC ලිස්ට් ජර්නල් ලිස්ට් එකේ හුඟක් ඒවා හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමහරට එතන ABDC ජර්නල් ලිස්ට් එක අන්තිමට රීසන්ට්ලි අප්ඩේට් වෙලා තියෙන මම වෙබ් එකේ බැලුවාම මම දැක්කේ 22 වගේ. ඒ හින්දාද?
නෑ 22 තමයි පබ්ලිෂ් කරපු ජර්නල් ලිස්ට් එක තියෙන්නේ පුතා. ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට high quality papers තමයි high quality journals තමයි ABDC එකේ පබ්ලිෂ් වෙන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට Scopus list එකේ ඇති. Scopus list එකේ ABDC තරම් high quality paper high quality journals නැති වුණත් සමහර ඔයාලගේ ABDC නැත්නම් Scopus එකේ තියෙන chance එක වැඩි. ඔය දෙකෙන් එකකවත් නැත්නම් නම් ගන්න එපා papers. වැඩක් නැහැ. Google Scholar එකෙන් නම් ගන්නම එපා. ජර්නල් එකකින් papers ගන්න ඕන බෑ. ඔයා පුතේ check කරන්න ආයේ Scopus list එකේ තියෙනවද කියලා.
හරි මැඩම්.
හරිද?
හරි ස්කූපස් ලිස්ට් එකේ තියෙන්නේ මේ කියන්නේ ජර්නල් විදියට නේ කියන්නේ රිසර්ච් පේපර් වයිස් නෙමේ ජර්නල් එක
නෑ.
තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ.
ඔව්. දෙකේම පුතේ තියෙන journal names. paper names නෑ. ඒගොල්ලෝ declare කරනවා මෙන්න මේවා තමයි හොඳ journals කියලා. මේ journals වල තියෙන papers හොඳයි කියලා. හොඳ journals කියලා. එතකොට ඒ journal එකක තියෙන paper එකක් නම් ඔයා base කරන්න ඒක ඔයාට හොඳ guide එකක් දෙනවා. එහෙම නැති වුණාම ඔහෙ අපිට ඕන researchers field එක දන්නාට research කරන්න පුළුවන්. නේ? There are some predatory journals. I already given to you the predatory journal list. නේ? You can search on that one as well.
මැඩම් තව ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා සමහර කියන්නේ මම එම්බ්‍රල් ඉන්සයිට් එකේ බලනවා සමහර ඒවා ඩවුන්ලෝඩ් කරාම රිසර්ච් ආටිකල් මේ pages 30 වගේ යනවා සමහර ඒවා pages 3-4 ඒවම තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ වෙනස මොකද්ද මැඩම්? මේ කියන්නේ සමහර ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර pages ගන්න වැඩි වෙන්න අඩු වෙන්න එහෙම
සමහර දේවල් තියෙනවා පුතේ සමහර research papers වල quantitative ඒවා qualitative ඒවා. right? එතන qualitative research paper එකක් ගත්තාම සාමාන්‍ය සමහර විට ඇති 20-25 වගේ papers ඇති. ඒකේ කිසි වෙනසක් නැහැ. ඔයාට paper එක entirely study කරනකොට තේරෙන්න ඕනේ පිටු 5ක් ලිව්වත් පිටු 20ක් ලිව්වත් තියෙන්න ඕන කෝ එක තියෙනවා නම් paper එකේ කිසිම issue එකක් නැහැ පුතා. එහෙම ලොකු වෙනසක් කියලා අපි identify කරගන්න බෑ. හැබැයි standard format එක එකයි. introduction එක දීලා literature review දීලා methodology එක දීලා discussion එක දීලා conclusions are future recommendations දීලා references include කරනවා. ඒක තමයි standard format එක. ඒතර ඒකේ ලොකු වෙනසක් අපිට identify කරගන්න බෑ. හරියට ඔයාලගේ exam එකේ ඔයාලා පිටු 5ක් ලිව්වත් නේද? වාක්‍යඡේදයක් ලිව්වත්, paragraph එකක් ලිව්වත් ඔයාලගේ තියෙන කෝ එකේ paragraph එකේ තියෙන නම් අපි marks දෙනවනේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ incident එකක් තමයි පුතේ එතනදී තියෙන්නේ. clearද? ඔයා කියවන්න ඕන papers paper එක තියෙන pages ගානෙන් අපිට identify කරගන්න බෑ quality එක. සමහරවිට page 5ක් තිබුණාට පුතේ ඒ papers පහේ තියෙන්න ඕන කෝ එක හරියටම තියෙනවා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ලොකු difference එකක් අපිට identify කරගන්න බෑ.
හරි මැඩම්. thank you මැඩම්.
Madam,
Yes, Udani.
Madam, can we change the sample now?
Okay, it's okay. No issue. No issues. We are developing you. At any points you want to change a sample, dependent, independent variable, you can change it. So that is what we are doing. I already asked you to develop or else to identify 3 research topics in the 3 disciplines. Don't change the discipline, just develop your research topic. By changing the sample, by changing the independent variable. Now you can include the moderators, mediators, concept, likewise, now you change. But only until the presentation date. Therein after you can't change. Yes, Sudha.
Can't we get Emerald Insight journals? Then how about
Sorry?
quality of Emerald Insight journals? Hardly get.
Emerald Insight journals, good. Emerald Insight in the sense, so they are publishers, right? So it's like the Godage. Godage prakashakyo කියලා ඉන්නේ. අපි අපේ context එකෙන් ගත්තොත් for example, ගොඩ කියලා මොකද කරන්නේ? So they are publishers, no? So they are printing the books and the publishers. Emerald also is similar to the Godage. So what they are doing is, so they have the journals, right? So they are providing the online facility for the publication. So they are publishing those things. Emerald papers, quality papers. For the undergraduate level, it's okay. Totally fine.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes.
ABD අර ජර්නල් ලිස්ට් එකේ අපේ දැන් අදාළ රිසර්ච් ටොපික් එක සර්ච් කරන විදිය පොඩ්ඩක් පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්ද?
Topic එක නෑ පුතේ. Right? For example, here again. So you need to select the papers. Right? Select the papers, journal article. You viewed it here. Okay. Go to the second one. Okay. So now you can see here, your journal is European Journal of Management and Business Economics. Can you see the journal name?
Yes,
European Journal of Management and Business Economics. You copy it. Right? And then go to the Excel sheet here. Okay. You can identify the columns, ne? Journal title. You need to search for the journal title, right? Not for the research topic, putte. So you have to here copy. Ne? You need to copy the journal name. So this is the research paper name. The interplay between firms' capabilities and the ownership in expanding the environmental performance. So that is a research topic. From where you can identify the journal below the Emerald Insight icon. European Journal of Management and Business Economics. You copy it. You come to the Excel sheet. You need to search on this column, right? Journal title column. Take it as a control F and find. We can't find it. Sometimes it may be not included in the journal. It can't be identified as a better journal as per the Australian business dean schools, right? Likewise with it. Clear? You need to search on this column. If it is very clear, you can filter also. You can filter. You can fill the accounting journals and find it. Or else, the other method. First, if you want to have an research regarding the accounting or else whatever the finance, better to select the accounting or finance journal. ඒ පැත්තට ඔයාලට process එක අරන් යන්න පුළුවන්. journal එකක් හොයාගෙන journal එකට ගිහිල්ලා journal එකේ තියෙන paper names තියෙනවා. journal එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ it's like a booklet, no? Right? So it include lot of papers, journal papers. A journal paper එකක් PDF available තියෙන quality paper එකක් ඔයාගේ interested area එකෙන් select කරගෙන එයාව base paper එක කරගන්නත් පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් papers journal එක cross check කරලා paper එක quality paper එකක්ද කියලා හොයාගන්නත් පුළුවන්. මේ විදිහ දෙකටම ඔයාලා research ඔයාලගේ fine tune කරන්න පුළුවන් topics. Right. Any questions?
Madam, සමහර Emerald Insight එකේ අපි සමහර journals ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ topic එකට match වෙන ඒවා හොයාගත්තාම ඒක සිහබ් එකට දැම්මහමත් ඒක අපිට allow කරන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒ විදිහ වෙලාවට අපිට quality paper එකක් හොයාගන්න එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇත්තටම.
ඔව්.
ඒ විදිහ වෙනස්
ඒක
කරන්න දෙයක් මොනවා හරි තියනවද?
Emerald Insight එකේ නැත්තම් මං එදා ඔයාලට sorry. මොකක්ද කිව්වා දාන්නට සයි හබ් එකේ නැත්තම් සයි හබ් එක බැයි නම් ලව් සයි හබ් යූස් කරන්න පුළුවන් වලට ලව් සයි හබ් එකේ නැත්තම් so you can search on the elsewhere papers, right? Elsewhere papers, SSRN papers, and then you can find the research gate papers through the research gate also. SSRN likewise. So there are some other platforms, no? You can search on that platform also, Pute. Again, so that is a one option. Again, if you don't have the access for the quality papers, what you can do, you can open the Mendeley software, referencing software, right? Mendeley. If I show you the icon, Mendeley, right? So this is the icon, Mendeley, right? So this is a referencing software, right? You install it to the desktop or else whatever the laptop. So then you link the Mendeley software to the Excel sheet, to the Word document, right? So then once you go to here, Emerald Insight, Emerald Insight. I hope you all can see my screen. No title. Sustain. Right. Okay, Pute. Sustainability. Right? See here, it doesn't have the open access. You click on here. So see here, Pute, you can download the RIS. You just download it. RIS. Right? So then once you open the RIS, now you already downloaded it, no? Okay. We'll go to the download. See here, you open the here. I hope you all can see Emerald Insight RIS is here, right? As a blank document. Once you install the Mendeley desktop version, you open this document with the Mendeley software. You open, click on here. Just I can see the PDF version and other apps also. But once you install the Mendeley software, it appears here. So then open the RIS through the Mendeley. So then in the Mendeley software, the RIS document will be taken as the PDF format. Download karan ba. You can download, but you can view it. Right. So that is another platform where you can download the similar papers or else the papers which doesn't have the access. Sometime it may be the RIS, sometime it may be the BBTX, and sometime it may be the EndNote. මෙන්න මේ වගේ icon එකක් පෙන්වනවා යාලට. Right. ResearchGate also the same. I don't have the access to okay, ResearchGate. So this is the ResearchGate account. Questions, okay. Citations doesn't divide. See here with the export citation. right? So this is the ResearchGate appearance. Once you identify the article, so this is the article, the impact of green finance, fintech and the digital economy on the environmental sustainability, evidence from the advanced panel techniques. So then you got the more icon, right? So then export citation. So then you can download the citation with the RIS, BBTX. So then paint text and likewise you just better to download it as a RIS version. Once you download it, just install the Menly software and open the RIS document through the Menly software. So then you can view the some unauthorized journals, some unauthorized research papers. That is another way. Exactly, Pute. So there are some articles which we don't have the access because why? Latest research articles, so they are not providing us the access toward the Emerald Insight. Emerald Insight නෙමෙයි සමහරවිට මම research papers download කරනවා PhD කරන යාළුවන්ට යවනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙනවා university access. ඒගොල්ලන්ට download කරන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට download කරන්න payment කරන්න. මේ විදිහටත් බැරි papers තියෙනවා. ඒ papers කියන්නේ recent papers. So they are not giving the authorization to view it. We need to pay for that one. ඒ වගේ දේවල් නැගී තියෙන unavoidable things. So we can't do anything for that kind of scenarios. Anyway, you can try on the you can find if it is not available through the Emerald Insight, better to find through the other research hubs. Any questions?